Hi everyone, Richard here, and welcome to tonight's broadcast. And tonight we're going to be looking at discovering how to learn, lead, live, and love in your natural way. So there's a book called The Rhythm of Life, Living Every Day with Passion and Purpose. It's by Matthew Kelly, and in that book there's a chapter which is titled "Everyone is a Genius," and this is a quote from Albert. There's a quote rather from Albert Einstein, who he wrote, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." So it's really important to discover what your genius is. Understanding your dynamic, and there are four main dynamics, and there's if you think of a square, on the top and the bottom you have your thinking dynamics, and on the left and the right you have your acting dynamics. So at the top you've got intuitive people. So these are people that live in the sky, live in the clouds, and then the sensory people down the bottom. These are people who are very, very sensory. And then on the left and the right, where you've got your action dynamics, people on the left of the square, these are your introverted people, and the people on the right of the square, these are your more extrovert people. So by discovering where you actually fit within these dynamics, then you can discover what your natural talents are. So you can work out where you're in your flow, where you're best positioned, and if you are operating within your flow, whether this is professional, whether it's personal, in your relationships, in all walks of your life, when you are in your flow, you're in your comfort area, then you're following the path of least resistance. Okay, so you're going to be doing what you like. If you're doing what you like, you're doing what you're good at, and you're going to be happy, and you're going to be performing well. If, however, you're feeling that what you're doing is hard work and it's a slog, then you're not in your flow. You're doing the wrong thing. So it's really important to understand your own personal dynamics. Once you do that, then you can see what particular type of work suits you. If you're not doing the things that come naturally to you, then you need to surround yourself with other people that can do those things that you can't do. So talk about business being a game. So when you build your team, build your team with the right kind of people, the right mix of people, so that you've got a whole team that is people doing what they're good at, where they're in their flow. And then by doing that, everybody's doing what they're best at, and you've got a business which is performing well with good people in it that are happy in what they're doing. So you're now doing what you do best, where you're happy, and you've got a team performing, doing what they're all doing best. So really important that you understand your dynamic. These dynamics also, they actually align with the seasons as well. So we're going to talk about that at the end. So if you actually want to take a test to find out where you are in your flow, then follow this link. It's a bit of a long link. If you can copy that down, we'll put it in the comments below, which will be easier to give you a link to click on later. But click on that link, and then you can take the test. Short, few answers, and you'll get a report back, which based on your answers will tell you where your genius lies. So now you know what your genius is. So at the top, you've got your dynamos, the creators. To the right side, you've got your blaze energy. So your more extrovert people, and you got your tempos down the bottom, the sensory people. It's all about timing. And then to the left, still energy, analytical, very logical, following the process, attention to detail. So you've got your energy. Now then, you can then split that down into further a total of 8 profiles. So within each genius, there is further profiles, and there's a lot of detail to this. So there's a lot more information. I'm condensing it really down into 10 or 15 minutes. But when you click on those links, you can watch some videos and you can see a lot more detail to how it all works. But if you can understand your own profile type, then you can narrow that down. You can really be actioning in your work, in your personal life, your behavior patterns that are in alignment with your own particular profile. So at the top, so with the dynamo energy, you've got at the very, very top your creators. So these are people that can create. They're coming up with ideas all the time. They can create profitable businesses. They can come up with some great ideas. However, they have a very short attention span. So when you're working with a creator, you've got to capture their idea, and what they will do is they will delegate it out through others. So they'll come up with the idea and then they'll pass it on. They'll delegate their idea out so other people can build on it. They are no good at the day-to-day operations of the business. That's just not going to hold their attention at all. They really don't want to know the detail. Everything apart from the creative process, they will need to delegate out to somebody else. So good examples of some creators: Bill Gates and Richard Branson. Then we've got the stars. So the stars, they're the extrovert people. They are going to have a very strong personality. They're going to be very good at thinking on their feet. They're people. They're going to be people person. They're going to be full of excitement. They're going to be center of attention at a party. They'll be dancing on the tables, getting everybody going. And an example of a good star is Oprah Winfrey. So we're moving now into the blaze energy. So sticking with blaze, you've got the supporters. Now what the supporters will do is they will work very well with the creators and the stars, and they'll take what they're doing and they will run with it. They make great leaders. They're very, very good at networking, at going to the networking meetings, introducing themselves. They're not shy in any way, very extrovert. And these supporters are people that can really get things done. Steve Ballmer, good example of a supporter. So Steve Ballmer, CEO of Microsoft. And then next to we're now moving down slightly, so we're now moving down towards the tempo energy, but we're still sitting with blaze at the moment. You've got your deal makers. So they're really on the cusp here. They are good at relationships. They're good with people. They're good at making connections with people. But they are also, because they're moving into tempo, they're also focused on timing. They are grounded. Okay, so unlike your stars, who are really full of energy and as I say, dancing on the tables, you're getting more grounded with your deal makers. They can be very intuitive to opportunities. And an example here of a deal maker is Rupert Murdoch. Then you start to move around a bit more, and you come to the traders. So the traders, this is now your full-on tempo energy. They're good negotiators. They will find out the bargains. They will do the deals. They're very, very good here. They're good at rooting out the high-paying clients, the people that are going to pay the high prices. So they're going to buy low. They're going to sell high, and they're in it for the long term. It's about timing. So they're very, very sort of service orientated. Then we're moving around a little bit more. Also here we got example George Soros. So George Soros is a fund manager in the States, one of the largest funds he manages in the US. Now we're moving around to the accumulators. So we're coming around. They're still grounded. They're still very much the tempo energy, but we're coming around more towards towards the left side. So a bit more introverted. They're going to work with assets a lot more rather than people. They're very focused on what they do. They won't really multitask. The accumulator will focus on one thing and get that done and then move on to something else. Again, all about timing. So they're looking at the right time. So, you know, they're going to enter the market at the right time. They're going to come out of the market at the right time. Again, very intuitive to new opportunities as they come along. And an example of a good accumulator here is Warren Buffett. Now we're moving right round now to the to 9 o'clock, the far left side here, and this is where you've got your lords. So your lords, they are very much looking at the details. So introverted people, not interested in, you know, in other people. They just want the detail. That's what they want. They want as much data as possible. They're going to analyze that data. Not looking for any attention. No, you know, they don't want prizes. What they want to do is get the job done well and make sure that they've got all of the information that they need. And a good example here of a good lord is Ingvar Kamprad, the founder of IKEA. And then finally, the eighth dynamic here is your mechanic. So your mechanic is a perfectionist. They're always going to be looking at how to improve the system, how to do things better. Again, you know, so around that side, the detail side, they're very good at taking things and fine-tuning them, getting, you know, best performance out of things that they can. An example here of a great mechanic is Jeff Bezos from Amazon. So here we are. So this is what the full square looks like. So you've got your dynamo energy at the top. Sat right there at the at the heart of the dynamo energy, you've got your creator, so your ideas person, moving around your star, coming into the blaze energy, so much more into the people, taking the creator's ideas, working with those, going out, banging the drum. Your supporters, your again, full-on blaze energy now, so they're working well with the dynamos, coming up with the ideas, and the stars moving it forward, getting to market. The supporters are now going to find the people to implement and work with the people. Moving around to the bottom where you're now coming to the deal makers who are bringing those ideas to market. All about timing. Your traders getting in at the market at the right time, coming out again. The accumulators and the lords, very much the still energy, more now introvert, not really interested in the people, but the system, working with the system, making sure they've got the detail. And then finally, the mechanics, fine-tuning and all about precision. So where do you sit in that little lot? So there is a wealth dynamic test. If you understand exactly where you fit in that spectrum, then you really know where you're best, where you're performing best, who the details of the people that you need within your team. You can fine tune it all. And if you click on the link here, if you take that link, then you can take the test there to see exactly where you sit. I personally, when I first did this, I was a supporter. I'm definitely Blaze. I was a supporter initially. People do change. I'm now a star. I've moved around a bit, coming up, working much more with creators and coming up with ideas. But I'm definitely Blaze Energy. So yes, if you use that link, then you can take the test. I think it's 90. The first one, the Genius U, is free, but the detailed wealth dynamic test is, I think, $97. But well worth doing, especially if you're building businesses, building teams, working with teams. If you'd like to find out any more about Awaken to Business and what we do, and Vavavum about building teams, taking on virtual assistants, then please do scan the QR code on the left. That will give you all the details. There's a free downloadable guide on the website on how to go about recruiting a virtual assistant. A lot more information. Details of the software that we use, how to systemize your business. If you would like to have an appointment with me, book a Zoom call with me, then the QR code on the right, if you scan that, that will give you access to my online calendar. So booking a Zoom appointment with me there. I do hope that you have found this broadcast useful. If you have, then please do subscribe to the channel. You can click the bell there on YouTube and get notifications when I'm online, or if I've uploaded any new videos, usually Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 6 o'clock. And if you think this may be of use to anybody else at all that you know, then please do share. And that's it for this evening. So thank you very much indeed for joining me, and I'll be back again on Wednesday at 6. Thank you. Bye-bye.